I wanted to talk to you about a topic that maybe you haven't thought of before, the difference between fear and anxiety. And this is important to know because fear is a natural emotion, and it's an emotion that we feel when we are in danger. And fear is very protective. We need fear. So let's say the house is burning down. Your nervous system gets into fear so that it can get you to get out of the house. That's what causes you to move, to get out, to start running, to go faster. Sometimes you even develop more strength than you know you had, because that's what our body's supposed to do. So fear is nature's protector, and it's very important in real situations to have the fear response. There's another response, which is worry, which leads to anxiety. Worry and anxiety is being afraid of something that might happen in the future. And unfortunately, today, a lot of us feel worry and anxiety all the time. Now, while fear is important in short periods, worry and anxiety creates the same thing in our body, and over long time creates physical and lots of other problems. So we get stomach aches, we can't sleep at night, we start feeling anxious about everything. Things that are not supposed to cause anxiety. And I can tell you this was me. So I experienced something that was very scary. And then after that, then it turned into anxiety. I was constantly worried about it. And my experience had to do with an airplane. My first career, I was a news reporter. And there was an airplane crash, a terrible airplane crash. And as a news reporter, I had to go cover the scene of the airplane crash. And after that, I developed anxiety over airplanes, and I wouldn't get on an airplane for 30 years. When I finally got on an airplane, it was because I had a son getting married far, far away. And I needed to go see my son get married. I didn't want to miss that. So I finally, after 30 years, got myself on an airplane. But a fear of something became an anxiety, and it created all sorts of physical problems in my body. So what I want to teach you today is how to recognize if you're getting worried or anxious about something that could happen. Again, that's different than something that is happening that your body needs to respond to, something that you're starting to worry about in the future. And when you've been, again, through something scary or fearful, your body and your mind is going to go to that place again and again, unless you retrain it. So what I'm teaching you is how to retrain your nervous system and your mind. And it takes 10,000 hours of practice before you develop the new habit. So believe it or not, whatever thing you've been worried about or anxious about, you've been doing for at least 10,000 hours in your life. And we want to now start retraining to a new way of being. So there's 3 steps. So let's go ahead and do what we always do when we're preparing to do this, which is get present in our body, being aware of where we are. So look at your feet for a second. And then look at your hands. Become present to, these are my hands, these are my feet, this is where I'm sitting. You could even stare at something on the wall, a poster, a clock, and that's orienting yourself, getting yourself physically present to where we are. And then I'd like you to become aware of something you're worried about or anxious about. And again, remember that means you're fearing something in the future. It's not happened, but it's something you're having anxious thoughts about. So become aware of it. And when you become aware of this, I want you to call this fear thinking. And you could even say to yourself, this is fear thinking. You're naming it. Now I want you to go and become aware of where this worry or anxiousness is felt in your body. So, are your shoulders tight? Does it make your hands feel sweaty or clenched up? Do you feel it as a throbbing around your eyes, as a headache? Do you feel it as something in your stomach, like a knot in the stomach? So become aware of the sensations of fear in your body or anxiety, fear thinking. Now, step 3 is to give yourself some kindness or compassion. So how do you do that? You just quiet your breathing down. You breathe into these areas, and you might come up with a little set of words that you'll say to yourself, like, I'm okay in this moment. Or that was then, this is now. Or I'll get through this. I mean, I had to, what I said to myself over and over and over again when I was experiencing this is faith, not fear. Faith, not fear. So it was my little mantra that whenever I got into this anxiety, it's a circle, because what happens is you think the thought, the worry, it creates a physical sensation in your body, which doesn't feel comfortable. That creates another thought or worry. And it goes around and around and around. And we're trying to break the cycle. So we become aware. We call it fear thinking. We figure out where in our body is the uncomfortable feeling. And then you give yourself kindness by slowing your breath down, breathing slowly and steadily, and saying a mantra that'll help you. Or like, this is not real. That was then, this is now. I'm okay. Faith, not fear. Whichever one is the easiest one or the one that works best for you. So let's practice for a moment. I don't want you to come up with the worst thing you're worried about. It's always good to practice with smaller things, not the biggest thing. So if there's a small thing you're worried about, let's bring that to mind. I have a doctor's appointment that's kind of making me a little anxious. So I'm going to bring that one to mind. So the next thing you do is you label it, fear thinking. Now you figure out where you're feeling it. I'm feeling it in my stomach. I can feel my stomach is tightening up or tensing up. Where are you feeling it? And this is the hard part because most of us don't like uncomfortable feelings. And now you treat yourself with kindness and compassion by slowing your breathing down, breathing in and out, and then coming up with that mantra, faith, not fear, or I'm okay. This is not me in this moment. Or I'll get through it. You could give yourself words of encouragement. anything that works. So you have to practice this 10,000 times. You don't have to write them down, but the more you practice something, there's an expression called neurons, and neurons are the nervous system in our body. Neurons that fire together, wire together. That means the more we practice this, the more it becomes our new habit. And that's why we have to train ourselves, because our old habit, we practiced a lot and we didn't even realize we were practicing it. But now we want to practice a habit that is better for us and keeps us from worrying and being anxious all the time, which then affects our health. So I hope this has been helpful. Let me know.